Hello, everyone. Merry Mate to you all. Blessed Imbolc to you all. This is a wonderful day. It feels really, really good. I think this is an auspicious time. Today is also our new moon in Aquarius. If you haven't checked out my reading, please go do so. This is also the Chinese New Year, so we are welcoming in the year of the tiger. Now, if you really want to really educate yourself on what this Chinese New Year means, go on over to ancientsisters.com, get your subscription to the magazine, or just buy the new magazine that's coming out. Along with my article regarding herbs and healing and cooking with herbs. There's also a huge article in there regarding the year of the tiger and explaining a little bit of the astrology for all of the signs. It is a wonderful read. It is great. It is done every year. The Witch's Brew magazine is an absolutely wonderful magazine, the plethora of information written by those that are seasoned on their path and those that are, in our pagan community. So get out there and support your pagan community, guys. So let's talk about Imbolc. Well, Imbolc is the halfway period in between Yule and the winter solstice, and Ostara, which is the spring equinox. Now, according to being technical here, the technical day this year is on February the 4th, and the reason being is that the exact middle point in between Yule and Ostara would be at 15 degrees of Aquarius. So the sun will be at 15 degrees Aquarius on Friday. So that is actually technically that day. Now, Imbolc, it means quickening, the stirring, and it is a time of the maiden form of the goddess. The goddess that is recognized on this day is Goddess Bree, our bride. Many people refer to her nowadays as Saint Bridget. And that is simply because she was such a well-beloved goddess that she just continued her people could not let her go. So she was just consumed into Christianity during the conversion, and she became Saint Bridget, and this time was known as Candlemas. Now, who is Goddess Bride or Breed? She represents purity, birth, newness, also healing. She is the goddess of the smith crafts. So those who are artists, those who are writers, such as poetry, are different writers. This is she's kind of like she's the one who works with those that are in that creative line. She is also called the Exalted One. Her father is the Dagda and her mother is the Morgan. And how perfect of a goddess to be born with those parents. Now, at this time, our ancestors would be, they could see that the days are getting longer, bit by bit. We had Yule, which was the winter solstice, which was the darkest night. And this is for the northern hemisphere I'm talking about. So, and this is the time where at the winter solstice, the sun was reborn. So since that day, the days have become longer, just a little bit, piece by piece. the snow is to start melting. Um, we're starting to see life come back. And it really has to depend on where you live, because for me, I live in coastal Georgia. I live on the line of Georgia and Florida. So down here, we really don't have four seasons. We can have all kinds of weather, and sometimes it's freezing in the morning and it's hot in the afternoon. But it seems here we like to have summer or fall. So Imbolc is one of these times that I really didn't feel a lot, because there's not a big, it's a quickening. So it's just starting the stirring. So maybe we're not supposed to feel it that hard, right? But we are going to feel it, because this is a transition. This is a turning on the wheel of the year. And we are going into a new cycle. So we are, the sun is getting stronger. Our ancient people, our ancestors would be preparing, cleaning, making way, um, getting their getting their gardens ready to plant, and so forth. So this would be a time at getting things together and preparing for the growing time, the summertime. And they're going to be working hard, because they're going to be blessing the seeds. They're going to be preparing everything, because they want to have a wonderful harvest. We can sometimes not really understand what our ancestors went through, because we don't live in the time that they lived, when a bad crop meant that maybe we're not going to be eating one day. A sick animal meant food coming off the table, and so forth. This was a time where you really had to work with the land and be in tune with the land to understand the cycles that the earth goes through, and to learn how to go through them with her. So it is getting brighter. Goddess Bree, the exalted one, her father, the Dagda, her mother, the Morgan. What a wonderful, wonderful child to be born from those two. And she is one of her symbols is fire, also the cauldron. Again, she's a goddess that works with you. She was also, she represents fire and water. So people would honor her at wells, at sacred wells. And she was just a very beloved goddess. And, reading about her and reading her history, you can tell that she really had people that truly loved her. She really had those, and there's still, to this day, there are still her attendants that attend her flame. So you should read on that. That is wonderful reading. It's wonderful. These women make sure that her flame is still lit. So she is still adored, and she is still adored by her people. She is still called upon and honored. So this is a sacred time. And when you walk the wheel, each one of the festivals feel different. It's kind of like a peeling of the layers of it. So I would suggest um, for those of you that are just starting on this path, that are just learning about this, and even those that have been on it for a while, maybe you have forgotten, but I always suggest keeping a journal. Keeping a journal just for Sabbaths. So, you can start where you are and, work your way up. Like today, we're going to write what is going on for Imbolc, okay? And then next, we have the spring equinox, the Stara, what has come about. We are this is February the 1st when I'm recording this, so this is the new moon in Aquarius, so this is a wonderful time for this. New moons represent a new cycle, so we are definitely in some transition energy here. So this can be good for you, especially those that are really working on trying growth and expansion. So that is really good for you. So keep that journal and see how you are spiritually evolving and seeing how each Sabbath brings you, see what gift it brings you, because I promise you, walking the wheel and living it, I knew the wheel for many years, but as soon as I truly started walking it, everything changed. Everything changed. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about here in America. Here in America on February the 2nd is Groundhog's Day. And this is the day when the groundhog comes out of his hole, and if he sees his shadow, I can't remember off the top of my head. It's whether he sees his shadow or not. It'll tell us if we have six more weeks of winter or if we're going to have an early spring. This goes back to a myth of the goddess Bree, and this is a time when the goddess is in her maiden aspect, and this is when she would the breed snake would emerge from the womb of the earth mother to test the weather, to see if it was time to come out, as in many places the first crocus flowers had begun to spring forth from the frozen earth. So again, here is a snake. Let's talk about snake energy. Snake energy basically means knowledge and wisdom. For many, in many indigenous people, the snake represented the energy of the earth. So, in the winter is the time of the Kaliak. And it is when the snows represent her coat that is spread across the land. So the Kaliak turns into Bree because she is going from her crone aspect to her maiden aspect. And this is the time when Bree emerges from the cave of the Kaliak to begin her walk. And for this time, it is a good time to clean out your house, get rid of old things, throw away the garbage, kind of like a spring cleaning. And I honestly suggest every time you have a Sabbath to do that spring cleaning kind of thing. This is the time to prepare for what is coming. If you want to have a bountiful harvest, well, then you're going to have to do that work in order to reap those rewards. And through this time, we're planning here. We're going to go and do our getting prepared and getting all of these things in a row. So the symbology here is purity, growth, renewal, fertility, the getting rid of the old and making way for the new. This is a time of great promise. As we are seeing the sun coming back longer and longer each day. And this is the time that reminds us of the goddess's promise that all that dies shall be reborn. And that is the promise to us. And my high priestess always told me that whatever the goddess touches changes, and whatever she and things that change, she touches. So the goddess is about change. It is about transformation. It is always growing. It is always expanding. Energy can neither be destroyed or created, just transformed. And that is what we're here to do. We get so lost in mundane world, all of the mundane stuff that's going on right now, all of the bickering, all of the fighting, all of that. And what is it good for? We have people that are suffering mentally. We have people that are so alone in the world. And we have people who do not know where their next meal is coming from. Our world is too great for that. We have forgotten who we are. We have, we have to be careful with the illusions of this world because they can take us away. When we think about addiction, we always think about drugs or drinking, but it's more than that. It's more than that. To live a healthy life, we must live a harmonic life. We must live one that is not too far over in the light and not too far over in the dark. We are in a world of polarity and duality. And that's just how this dimension that we're on is played. Can we do better? Yes. Let's do it. We have a new moon here. We can set ourselves some wonderful, wonderful intentions. We have the Chinese New Year, and this is adding more of that growth, that renewal. So take this time and really think about what is going on. Venus now has come out of her retrograde. She went direct on the 29th, but she was there reminding us, hey, what do you value? What do you love? So every year when we go through these, we should always have something new to talk about, a new experience. And these are wonderful. These are wonderful things. So do keep that journal and write in that. And I am going to close for now. I just wanted to come on here and just give you a little brief introduction on Imbolc. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me and ask. I'll be more than happy to help you. And I wish you all the brightest of blessings. May this Imbolc bring you clarity, um, exalt you. Yeah, exalt. And just fill your heart with absolute harmony and peace. So I wish you all again many, many blessings. Thank you so much for listening and watching. And till next time, merry part until we merry meet again.